the NFL draft in the books and free agency mostly behind us, a couple of roster moves here and there could still happen. I think it's a good time to dive into some Patriots cut candidates, a fresh look at some players who could be in trouble, could be on the roster bubble between now and training camp. It is Patriots Today by Chat Sports, and my name is Harrison Graham. Before we get to some of those players, hit that like button if you're ready for Patriots football to be back. I know I am. I'm fired up for training camp, excited to watch Drake May in the preseason. Hit the like button if you are ready for Patriots football to return. All right, speaking of quarterbacks, Bailey Zappe, and look, I told you guys late in the season, I think Zappe is a serviceable backup. I don't think he's a top-tier one, but I think he's a top 50-ish quarterback in the NFL, middle-of-the-road type of backup. But you look at the depth chart right now, you probably keep him penciled in as QB3, but you also drafted Joe Milton. Like, unless he is just absolutely horrific in training camp and in the preseason, you're going to want to roster him. So are you going to carry 4 quarterbacks? I don't think so, which means Bailey Zappe is probably in trouble here. I think he's done some decent things. Last year, over more extended play, I think he got a little bit more exposed. Definitely the turnovers crept up overall. But again, with his physical limitations, he's clearly not a starter. But I still think he is a serviceable QB2, QB3 type, but at the same time, I do think he is the odd man out. You bring in Drake May to be your eventual starter, if not week 1. You obviously have Jacoby Brissett. And Joe Milton, just from his raw talent, would I rather have his physical tools to develop as a QB3 or Bailey Zappe, who we kind of know what he is at this point. Like, he can make some plays, but there's always going to be limitations there. I would rather keep Milton and try to develop him. You spent a draft pick on him for a reason. Maybe you can trade Zappe for a late-round pick if there's an injury in training camp. Maybe a team comes calling for a 6th or a 7th, but I do not think he will be on this Patriots roster. What do you think? Will Bailey Zappe be on this team this year in 2024? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I tend to think he will not be. What say you? Let us know in the comments section below. Next up is JuJu Smith-Schuster, the veteran wide receiver. We already saw Devontae Parker go earlier this offseason. Now with Juju, you got to think he could be in trouble because you look at the wide receiver depth chart here. You drafted 2 guys in Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. You've got Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas. Those 4 are pretty much locks. I think KJ Osborne is ahead of Juju at this point in time. Jalen Reagor is a good special teamer. Tyquan Thornton has speed. He hasn't been great. We'll talk about him in a second. But Juju last year, you signed him to a 3-year, $25 million deal, and he just wasn't productive. 29 catches, 260, and a touchdown. Less than 10 yards per catch there. I get some of that's the quarterback play, but he just doesn't look the same. I think the Chiefs knew that his knee was a problem, which is why they did not re-sign him. The only issue with cutting Juju is it doesn't save you money. But what I would say is the Patriots are in year 1 of a rebuild. Just eat the, if you pre-June 1st them, you lose like $1 million on the dead cap. If you post-June 1, it's like you break even. Just eat the money, even if you pre-June 1st cut him, and move on because he is not in your long-term plans. You got the money to do it. It's not a big deal if you lose $1 million for cutting JuJu Smith-Schuster. This is not an all-in year, so that is what I would say. You could also go with Tyquan Thornton, through 2 seasons has not obviously done much. You look at his career stats in 22 games, 35 catches on 68 targets, which is barely better than 50%, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think the yards per catch has been the most disappointing. I think the main reason they drafted him was to create some explosive plays, and that just has not happened. He just hasn't panned out. He's been injured a little bit as well. That's been a problem. I don't know. I look at Tyquan Thornton right now, and I'm like, what's his role? I mean, is he your 5th receiver that, runs 10 go routes a game? I guess you could do that with him. He can play a little bit on special teams, but he's not a returner like Jalen Reagor is, which is why I think Reagor would have the edge over Thornton. It's possible both these guys get cut. But if you had to pick one, who would you pick to cut? Type JJ for JuJu Smith-Schuster or TT for Tyquan Thornton. I'd probably rather keep Thornton, so I'm going to cut Juju. Thornton's at least young and fast, but I don't have high hopes for either of these guys. Get yourself a Drake May jersey. Still got plenty available at chatsports.com/May jersey. Check out the comments. Check out the description. We got the link in there for you guys. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Represent the new franchise quarterback. It is chatsports.com/May jersey. Link is down in the description and comments below. All right, couple more here. Kicker, special teams, Chad Ryland. Yeah, he's in trouble. The rookie kicker from last year, entering year 2 here. Patriots just signed Joey Sly, the kicker, on Thursday, the vet who's been around, has a very strong leg, more accurate than I'm just blanking on his name, Chad Ryland, excuse me. Sly this past year, 19 to 24. Extra points were kind of a minor issue, so that's certainly, something under consideration. Clearly bringing him in for competition, but Chad Ryland was just abysmal. The only thing he was better at was extra points, which sure it does matter, but 16 to 25. I mean, that's a low percentage. That's like 64%, 65%. I mean, that is not even sniffing average. Like Joey Sly is like kind of middle of the road. Chad Ryland is well below average. I think he's been put on notice from New England. Now, you let him compete. You drafted him last year. You're not going to cut bait before, like at this point in the offseason, but he's going to have to go earn a job in camp and in the preseason. And if he doesn't, they brought in Joey Sly for a reason. He's ready to go and can be the team's kicker this year. I think Ryland's really going to have to pick it up here. Who do you guys think gets cut? Obviously, they're not both going to be on the team. If you think Chad Ryland gets cut, type CR. Think Joey Sly gets cut, type JS. Pick a kicker that you think hits the road. One defensive player here, it is linebacker Rayquan McMillan, who they didn't really address linebacker in the draft, but they did in free agency by bringing in Sione Takitaki. Mapu's a year older as well. McMillan's right there on the bubble. He brought Christian Ellis back. It's like, he's off-ball linebacker 5 or 6. He's going to have to go earn a spot in camp. He's a vet who's bounced around, has been a starter, been a backup in this league, but they may opt to go younger with guys like Mapu and Takitaki, who's still a young player as well. So right there on the bubble, we'll see what he can do this offseason, but it's a numbers game at a lot of these positions, and he could just end up getting squeezed out. We'll see what Gerard Mayo and company do, but he's going to have to go out there and earn a roster spot at the end of the day. Be sure to subscribe to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Hit that sub button. We will continue to keep you guys in the loop, the latest news, rumors, and a whole lot more. Subscribe for 100% free. And let's go ahead and recap those cut candidates one more time before we get out the door. YouTube.com/Patriots Today. Spread that link with a friend. Quarterback Bailey Zappe, pretty simple with Joe Milton on board now, along with Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. I think Zappe's in trouble. JuJu Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton. I think one of these guys is likely off this team. I would cut JuJu, keep the younger, faster guy, see if he can develop. Chad Ryland with the addition of Joey Sly. That's a kicker battle. And then Raekwon McMillan, again, could be a numbers game at that off-ball linebacker spot. All right, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, one more time, hit the subscribe button here on the channel. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.